Everyone knows the name, but do we know the story? So I'm really curious about how did you get into DJing? Like, tell us a little bit about how you got your name and how did it all start.
Well, long story short, Mohogany was supposed to be my stripper name, but I never became a stripper because I was also like on a path to go to law school. And so like I had met somebody when I was in college who was a dancer and I was broke. I had no money and I needed money. And like that was the quickest way to get a lot of money. But I never actually like went through with it. And so when I became a DJ, I was like, oh my God, I should use Mohogany because Monique is my government name. And so what I did was I changed the M-A in Mahogany, the wood, to M-O because the first two letters of my name is Monique. So it's Mohogany. So that's the origin of my name, like long story short. And then I got into DJing because I used to work in policy. I DJ full time now, but I used to work in policy. I used to work with a lot of like government agencies. And I picked up DJing as a hobby because my job was just really intense and a little bit too serious for me. And I fell in love with it. Like, I didn't think that I was gonna like actually pursue it in the way that I have, but like, it was just like a little cute hobby. And then, after COVID had hit, I was like, you know, I'm gonna take it a little bit more serious. And yeah, it just went off.
So how long have you been DJing for?
I've been DJing since 2018, but I started learning like 2017.
That's very dope.
Yeah.
Did you start in New York City or did you start?
Yeah. I started.
In New York City?
Always been in New York. Yeah. So I started in New York City. I started playing Afro beats. Because like back then, like a lot of the, I would say like ethnic communities that had parties, like they were in silos, like they were like kind of separate.
Right.
So like we had our own community. We had a lot of parties. And so like that's where I like was DJing the most. And then after COVID, Afrobeat started like expanding more into like the mainstream party scenes. And so they tapped into our scene and that's how I started getting booked in the mainstream. But once I got into mainstream, like you can't always just play Afrobeats because for us, we want to hear African music all night. From 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. But like when you're in the mainstream, like you have to play for the audience. Yeah. So you have to like play different genres. So I learned how to play different genres like hip hop, dancehall, and whatever else was like required of me in the moment.
Mix it all together.
Yeah, I mix it all together, which I think I do pretty well. Yes. Yeah.
I love it. You know, so 2018 versus now, especially as a woman DJ, do you feel like in this male-dominated field, was it easy for you or were you able to assimilate yourself pretty well?
I think back then it was becoming easier. I think maybe if I had started like 2 or 3 years before that, it would have been super difficult. But I think at the time that I had started, like female DJs were coming onto the scene. There was a push for more equity around like gender, like women just being in those spaces. And I feel like a lot of event curators and promoters were also seeking more women in their spaces. So when I first started, like, I don't want to dismiss like some of the struggles that women have had like over the course of like DJing being like a thing. But for me, I didn't have any actual challenges because I think when I had came in, like there was more of like a desire for women to be in those spaces. I think now, like women tend to dominate a little bit more than they did in 2018. Women headline events. You have people like Uncle Waffles and so many other female DJs who are just really taking the craft, like, you know, and yet to the next level. And like, they are like now in those spaces far more than men. And I would say that women tend to DJ better than men.
Hey, okay. Ready here first.
I just feel like women, when they're DJing in a room, like they just know how to nurture the crowd. They know how to take care of the crowd. They know how to read the crowd. And I feel like there's a different energy when a woman is DJing too, especially for other women, because I think especially in the mainstream spaces, women tend to be ignored with like the music that's being played. Like women want to dance, they want to be cute, they want to have fun with their friends, they want to have moments and stuff like that. And so like I make it my duty, like every time I'm on set, to specifically play for women, because I know that there might not be another time within that time frame that like women will be taken care of. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, especially on a night out.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure
the baddies want to have fun.
So would you say, I wouldn't even say the word oversaturated, but now that there's so many women in the field, and it's not even it's harder, but maybe it's harder to make a name for yourself? Would you say that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's like New York, right? There's
Right.
like a Chinese food and a liquor store
On every corner.
on every corner, and I feel like it's the same thing. I think that if you're authentic and true to yourself, you're always going to shine. Like that is never going to be diminished. There might be 1,000 people, but like if you're destined and like you have favor, like you're gonna shine. So I don't necessarily think so. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to young women that wants to get into this space and figuring out their lane or their sound? What advice would you give them?
I think just be you.
Yeah.
I think you should trust like what makes you unique and what makes you special and not deviate from that. I think that you should also be a big advocate of yourself because it's very easy to listen to people and like for people to get in your head and tell you like what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. And obviously I do think that like you should listen to certain people, but I think that like you should be a huge advocate for yourself. And another thing too is I think you should build community with other DJs.
Yeah.
Not only just women, I think you should also build community with men, but I do think that you should build community with other female DJs because they understand your experiences more. I think that they may be able to provide you with advice in that context, which I think is more powerful than like maybe like what a man would share. But I also do think that men have a lot of great advice on how to dominate and do well in this field, especially because a lot of men right now are championing women.
Yeah.
And that's why I said building community is so important because once you build community, you build camaraderie with other DJs. Like you will find people who will also refer you to gigs, that will advocate for you, that will help support you and mentor you. So
Especially like, how do you feel about, I guess, the equity of it all as well in terms of pay range and making sure that you're set as well? Do you feel like you're able to advocate for yourself in that way as well?
I think, yes, I have a manager now. So
Period.
I think
Yeah, girl.
having him has like taken it to the next level. I do think that when you are a woman, event curators, promoters, or other DJs will try to like lowball you, or they might not give you a good set time. And I'm actually really grateful that my manager, who like is a man, can advocate for me and be able to say like, this is what she deserves, and this is what she's gonna get, and if she can't have it, then she can't be a part of this.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. I love that. So, Temper is this Saturday. What can we expect?
First of all, I love Haitians. Sorry to everybody else in the Caribbean. The Haitians are my favorite group of people. I really love. I'm from Ted's first party when he came to New York. He booked me for it. And I was so surprised that they loved African music. Like, I had no idea. And so, yeah, like, I'm gonna, like, really, you know, honor that because Temper is a party where, like, you know, people enjoy music, they enjoy each other, and they have fun. And so, yeah, I'm playing African music. I'm gonna try my best to hit all grounds within African music, like French part of it, on my piano, Afro beats. Yeah, like, that's what we're doing. And maybe, like, you know, a little bit of edits and stuff like that, like, you guys could also sing along to. Yeah. That's, like, relatable to your culture as well. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm excited. You never disappoint. My friend, literally, like, every time you're on the set, she's like, we gotta go to campus.
I love that. I love the girls. Cheers to the girls.
Oh, thank you so much,
No
Mohogany.
problem.
That's a wrap. Tell us where we can find you on Saturday.
We're going to be at the Brooklyn Monarch with DJ Bullet, Ted Bounce, Fafon, and Mohogany, the biggest Jew. Pull up. If you're not there, what are you doing?
What?
Come. You come too. Yes.